a star athlete with a constant smile on his face.
He was just always rough and tough, but he was always polite.
Is the best way Brian Montgomery remembers his son, Walker.
Growing up, Walker was, just always the kid that wanted to please.
Walker shined on and off the field, but the special light in Walker's 16-year-old life was dimmed because of what happened online.
Walker died as a result from suicide as a result from the pressures brought on by sextortion.
Montgomery says Walker was approached online by someone pretending to be a teenage girl. The exchange started off normally. Walker and who he thought was a teenage girl talked about things Walker loved, like sports. Eventually, the pretend teen got him to participate in a sexual act using video chat.
Well, all the time, Walker didn't know it, but he was being recorded. At the end of that episode, they come back and said, okay, you're going to give us $1,000, we're going to send this to everybody that you know.
Walker pleaded for the predator not to release it.
And then they start sending Walker screenshots of them sending the videos out. And Walker tells them, I'm going to kill myself. And these people respond with, go ahead, because you're already dead anyway.
How long was the exchange between this person and Walker? Did it last several weeks, or was it just a couple of days?
It was that single night, one night. They approached him at midnight of December the 1st, and Walker committed suicide that same morning.
It was that quick that they were
that fast.
Montgomery later found out about the online exchange when authorities confiscated Walker's phone during the investigation.
They were able to track the perpetrators to Nigeria, and they were able to send a subpoena to Instagram, figure out where that IP address originated from.
According to the FBI and Homeland Security investigations, there's been a rise of incidents like Walker's, where children and teens are being coerced into sending sexually explicit images or videos online and then extorted for money, a crime known as financial sextortion. Law enforcement received over 7,000 reports over the past year of online financial sextortion of minors, with at least 3,000 victims, most of them boys. The FBI reported over a dozen suicides in the last year because of this scheme.
I mean, sadly, we know of numerous instances where children have taken their own life because the pressure and the fear of embarrassment and exposure is so great that they have seen no other alternative other than suicide, which is extremely tragic.
Mike Prado is Deputy Assistant Director of the Homeland Security Investigations Cybercrime Center. Its center in Virginia examines everything from dark web cyber criminals to child exploitation. The FBI and HSI work together and split their responsibilities. The agencies found most extortion criminals originate in Nigeria and the Ivory Coast. The FBI tackles extortion investigations out of Nigeria, while HSI investigates cases coming out of the Ivory Coast. Prado says they've recently hosted the security minister of the Ivory Coast to combat and stop sextortion scammers.
We're working collaboratively to identify organizations and individuals who are perpetuating this crime against children, not just in the United States, but around the world.
In the United States, HSI partners with 61 Internet Crimes Against Children task forces from coast to coast. The task force agencies say they receive thousands of cyber tips a year. But when it comes to actually tracking which cases are sextortion by number, we've uncovered most agencies don't have those statistics. Despite the rise in this cyber crime, one agency after another told us they don't have a state statute or criminal code that deals specifically with sextortion. Indiana told us these cases might fall under numerous Indiana laws. Florida says there is no state statute that deals specifically with sextortion. South Carolina recently passed a bill to crack down on sextortion, making the crime punishable by up to 30 years in prison. And while a handful of states do provide sextortion state statutes, there's no national law specifically for sextortion, and not all states get the same funding for investigating cases.
While we do get federal funding through that, we also are extremely thankful that we also get state funding here in Washington State. So our Washington State legislature has provided us additional funds for this as well. So not every state has that.
Sergeant Brandon James is head of the ICAC task force in Seattle, Washington. He took us exclusively inside their task force facility.
I have about 7 detectives, but we cover just normal ICAC investigations. I also have a detective who just does criminal intelligence, and I have detectives who also do digital forensics. And so they are specifically trained in mobile and computer forensics. So when we do collect digital items of evidence, that they go through those in a very systematic way for gathering that evidence for court.
Like many agencies, the Seattle Task Force noticed a sharp increase over the last year, tied to online crimes targeting children.
Investigating these kind of crimes isn't your typical law enforcement investigation. It does provide an additional level of training and experience and aptitude to investigate the internet. And not all police departments have that training.
Sergeant James also says they're probably only getting a fraction of what's occurring because most people don't know where to turn when sextortion hits their home. He says his team works hard not only to investigate sextortion, but to educate parents, teachers, students, and even people in law enforcement.
I've been trying to do as much as we can, getting the message out to the officers that are responding to these suicides to say, hey, if you're responding to a teen suicide, you might want to think about collecting some digital evidence, particularly their cell phone.
As a family at home, my wife's missing her son. Walker's brothers and sisters are missing their brother.
Montgomery uses his son's tragedy to alert people across the country. He plans to travel to Washington, D.C. and testify before Congress to continue to share Walker's story, hoping teenagers will listen and be careful about who they talk to online.
If one person sees this, 10 people see this, and the things we're doing, and it changes somebody else, that's a win. And somebody, a bad guy on the other side of the world, just lost one, and we gained one.